Okay. Thank you for being with us on this nice Monday and taking the time to be part of the Master of Science in Systems and Engineering Management information session. We have some great content to cover, but before we start, let me introduce myself. My name's Omar Perez. I'm an online and excuse me, online enrollment advisor for UOnline, and I cover many of the graduate programs that we host. And I'm extremely honored to be part of today's presentation. We hope that today's presentation will guide you in making the best decision for your career. Now, before we start, there are some housekeeping items to cover. So first, this information session is going to be about 45 minutes in length. And if you arrive late or have to take a break or leave early for any reason, no worries, a recording will be available after the session. And also, we want to make sure that the presentation is relevant to you, excuse me. So if you have any specific questions for any of our panelists, please feel free to utilize the Q&A feature at the bottom. And of course, we have our call information if you wanted to reach out to an enrollment advisor after the fact. And with that being said, looking at the program at a glance, the master's program is 10 courses in total, which is 30 credits. Each one of the classes you take is 15 weeks long. And if you were to take 2 classes per semester consecutively, you would finish the program in 5 months, which is the equivalent of 20 months. Excuse me, 5 semesters, which is the equivalent of 20 months. And as it is an online program, you are able to take classes through fall, spring, and summer. It is, of course, SACSOG accredited, just like many of our university programs. There isn't any type of testing requirement related to the GMAT or GRE, so it's not necessary to submit any test scores. And lastly, the faculty that you're being taught by is our world-renowned faculty that teach on campus as well. So you are getting the same quality of instruction as your campus peers. And very shortly, I'll be joined by 2 great panelists today. The first one is Dr. Urquhart, who is a graduate program director of a College of Engineering. And then our other panelist today is Shelby Hoffman, who's our executive director of enrollment management, excuse me, and student success. So without further ado, please take it away.
Wonderful. I'll just go ahead and introduce myself really quick and then pass it off. I am Shelby Hoffman, and I am here to help the students when you are filling out your application and going through the application process, making sure that you have everything you need to be successful to build a strong application. So we'll get into some of those questions here in a little bit. So I will pass it on off to Dr. Urquhart, and he can introduce himself. And he's here to tell you a little bit more details about the program specifically.
Hello, and well, good evening and probably good afternoon. And I'm not sure if it's good morning too, but because since we're online. But hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Murat Erkok, or Erkoç, both pronunciations are correct. I am the graduate program director at the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering, where I try to coordinate all our graduate programs. And this online program is being one of them. It's basically it's a specialized program, and we have on-campus programs as well, and quite a few of them. I guess we have now as a department with this one, four MS programs and 1 PhD program. So I just usually try to coordinate all of them, but the specialty programs have their own directors as well. And good to be here.
Omar, do you have a question? Do you want to start off with some questions for us, or do you want me to kick them off?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if my screen behaves, I'll be able to pull up the question right away for you. So just a second here. Yeah, Shelby, I think you should go on while I just wait
Okay.
to load on my end.
All right. So my first question today is, can you start by giving us an overview of the Master's in Science and Systems and Engineering Management program and, possibly a little bit about why you decided to bring this curriculum online and into this virtual setting to, catch more of a wider audience of engineers?
Yes, I mean, again, in general, as I said, this program is housed by Industrial and Systems Engineering, and Industrial and Systems Engineering is traditionally serves as a bridge and conduit between engineering, process management, and business administration, and even in other disciplines, and also within engineering disciplines, because the idea is usually the slogan that we use is the engineers make it, we make it better. So it's about betterment of processes, design. So that's why it's not purely engineering. There is some art in it, there's management in it. So and from that perspective, for example, we have concentration programs like financial engineering, engineering management actually is one of our concentrations in the undergraduate as well. I mean, as well as manufacturing. So there is, what we are trying to do, we are trying to educate not only tomorrow's engineers, but engineers who can lead and who can manage and who can actually be able to see the big picture. So that is where we are coming from. And we have a similar on-campus programs, but with the, of course, advancement of online tools and online platforms, we basically thought that we can actually have actually value to offer, not just through on-campus, but also online programs. We have some also experience in doing off-campus programs. It's still in person, but the faculty go and deliver their program and teaching. But now this online program, we thought that will give more flexibility in reaching out and training more students, especially those who are in the professional life. And because we see sometimes in on-campus programs that we have quite a few people who are already in the job market and trying to advance their professions and background by basically getting involved in master's programs. But it's oftentimes two things, right? But timing, the scheduling, being a full-time on-campus student will require like nine credits and maybe too much commitment based on their schedules. And also too, the location is an important thing. Like one of the advantages an online program offers is that you're not constrained by where you are and your or geography. So based on this observation, and of course all the peer institutions, we basically decided to start this program. We thought that there are quite a few to offer, quite value to offer, especially on this special topic, which
Okay.
serves as a bridge between engineering and other disciplines. You don't have to be an engineer to be involved in this program.
Definitely a little bit of business and engineering to give these students the technology skills, but also the business terminology to be successful as they develop themselves professionally.
And I would add any STEM. We have people from basic sciences like biologists and others, and for many various reasons, they could be part of the program.
Okay, that actually goes right into my next question. What types and backgrounds do most of these students come from, and how diverse is their professional experience?
Like for our online, and I would as expect that in our offline program, I think there's consistency here. I mean, I would say that like 50% of our student body is engineering background, but the other 50, most of the other 50 are business background, or computer science background like data analytics, and as I said, some basic even science like arts and sciences and a background. So I think this program is doable for anyone with a STEM background.
Okay, perfect. And another thing too that we see from the enrollment side, we see a lot of students coming in with a STEM background, but we also see entry-level careers. We see students who are alumni and do their bachelor's and then come straight into this degree. We see students from other institutions who had just finished their bachelor's and are now eager to pursue their master's right away. And then we see students who are mid-career, even advanced career, who want to take their careers to the next level, maybe even get into that C-suite director, executive director, manager roles where they're taking now their technical skills and they need that business literature to lead and drive teams. So we see students from all across the board applying to this program. Anyone with 0 years of experience to 5 years of experience to 10 years of experience.
Yes, that's true, and I because of the online program provides a lot of flexibility for students, and some of them are really deep in their professional work. Some of them are like more constrained about their geographical location. Everybody's basically setting is a little bit different. And as you pointed out, some of them are just fresh out school, and one of my own children, like my eldest son, is already enrolled in one online program because it helps him with and then he's early in the career, and getting some ahead of the curve, if you will. Because again, one is the geographical issue, the other one is the need for to maintain a full-time position. The same way, the mid-career people, just once you basically get your degree from the real life, right? And it might be basically a good time for many to award themselves with an official degree to even further their careers, and especially in this program, maybe a leadership towards more leadership and managing, and I would just say big picture careers. And that's why there are, as I said, different also reasons. As I said, some people would like to further their roles as leaders of tomorrow or in leadership positions. The other ones could be there just to get like more in-depth knowledge, and in a way the certified, substantiated, and supported knowledge in their professions.
Yep. And it's a great time to take a minute and talk about the flexibility of the program. Right, and as Omar said at the beginning, it is a 30 credit total curriculum. And, we have students that do take them at their own paces. They take about 1 to 2 courses. Our students right now are pretty lockstep in the two courses per program. That's 6 credits each. That's really a good opportunity for those individuals who need the financial aid. But also 2 courses allows a student to be focused on their work, your daily 9 to 5, and then come in and do these 6 credits in the evening. So the program offers a strong flexibility for the working professional with a fully online delivery and balanced coursework. So it gives you time. You have to be organized with your time. And then we actually do have student success coaches who are assigned to help you to make sure that you are going through your curriculum in a lockstep manner and making sure that you are getting all your assignments in on time and staying on track. So we do have individuals to help you through that.
True.
Oh.
And just to add, like for flexibility, I would just say to look at it in like 4 main I guess ways I could think of in contributing to flexibility. One, as you mentioned, the asynchronous pattern,
Mhm.
which provides the students with studying and learning with their own schedule. So you make your own schedule. The
Mhm.
other one is, of course, as you mentioned, the pacing option. In other words, 1 to 2 courses. I would just say 2 courses probably the optimal one, but people have different settings. So some can take 3, some less. And then the location, right? The other flexibility. You don't have to be on campus. You don't need to commute. And then the fourth thing is the accessibility of the material, like 24/7, all those videos, lectures, and everything all the time accessible. And I guess this 4 different areas together provide a great deal, I would say, flexibility for students on the online program, especially for professionals, working professionals.
Okay, perfect. I'm wondering if you can give us any detail about some of the courses. I know, looking at the courses that the students will take that we talk about a little bit, some of the key courses in this program are ISE 670, Engineering Management, ISE 6112, Statistical Quality Control and Quality Management, and then a little bit about Applied Data Analytics. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the course outcomes in the first few classes that the students will see.
Yes, again, obviously this is because this is an engineering program, and many of those courses will have quantitative content as well as qualitative. But they don't require a hardcore or very deep engineering background. I mean, I would say that if you're comfortable and okay with mathematics, you'll be just fine. And as you can see, if you look at the lineup of these courses, and you can always visit the bulletin. I'm sure maybe it can be provided through the chat, that University of Miami Academic Bulletin, and look at the curriculum and all those courses, and you will see that the courses are stay in the crossroad of management and engineering. I mean, of course, one of these core course flagship, I would say, course is engineering management, which is the same name, almost like the program. That will basically set the I would just set the landscape, like the definition. What is engineering management? What is how do they relate engineering and management? And all those things are covered in this core course. There are some modeling aspects, and there's a lot of also conceptual aspects too, because it's just to understand. And we have new courses here too. I guess we are adding courses all the time. We are now adding systems engineering courses, which means, okay, how does engineering management play a role in the context of systems, in the context of big picture? How can we basically go from local to global? And while we do that, of course, you need to be equipped with different skills and knowledge. And one obvious thing is data analytics. You need to know your way with data. And you need to know, of course, how to manage projects, because most of these things are not theoretical exercises. In real life, all these engineering management activities turned into projects. So you need to know how to manage them. You need to be able to interpret and manage the data around them. They need to understand the economics of them, hence the advanced economics of systems. And then you need to, again, in terms of many engineering applications or managerial in the business, will involve production, many involve logistics and supply chain. So you need to also have a good understanding, basic understanding of those things. That these are basically integral parts of managing engineering systems, and also working with people, right? It's the people aspect. That's why we have classes, for example, from business school, like leading teams. And of course, the transformation, managing digital transformation. This is from business technologies, like how do we basically not only leading teams, but how do we basically achieve transformation? So it's not just, again, pure engineering, it's also management. That's why you will see courses from business school. And of course, other things that I can see here when looking at the bulletin, entrepreneurship. Obviously, engineering entrepreneurship is a part that you cannot, I guess, exclude from engineering management, because you can be an entrepreneur, engineer and entrepreneur, very good ideas, but how can you turn them into entrepreneurship and things like that? I guess many of these are selected courses, but elective courses, but I guess, well, I can see some required and elective, but they are all together try to open a loop and close it by the time you graduate, that you have all the aspects of engineering management covered.
Wonderful. Thank you for that overview. So, we talked a lot about the curriculum and what it will teach a student who decides to join these courses. What types of career paths or leadership roles do graduates from this program typically pursue?
I would say that the options are many, because whichever industry you are at, right? You can be in healthcare, you can be in aerospace and production and transportation, manufacturing, and IT. All of these areas actually have a contribution to as I said, I keep using the big picture. Now, if you get into the big picture, you can be basically find yourself with these degrees, or at least you have the skills and a vocabulary, if you will, to be sitting on that table that brings all these disciplines together and lead the whole system. So from that perspective, I would just say, if you might be working as an engineer or some other capacities in a company, and then you like to get more leadership roles, I think this is a right choice. Or you want to work as a project manager, you want to work as an operations leader, or a systems analyst, or engineering director of a department. And again, because as engineers, well, I need to talk about from the two perspective, right? From the engineer's perspective, that you can actually pursue a career in engineering. But then you would like to grow into the management side of it, maybe into even a C-suite. And from the non-engineer's perspective, it will be good to understand the engineering perspective of things, so you can actually lead them or collaborate with them well. And of course, in both cases, one core idea is to deepen your systems thinking, and two, the analytics skills. And that's why, for example, many of our undergraduate students end up going in the finance industry, like fintech industry. I mean, you would just say that, okay, but finance industry, why don't people from graduating from finance should go to finance? But the finance industry looks at these people and just say that, you know what? Yeah, but they can crunch numbers. They can make mathematical models. And then if they do maybe a master's degree in some engineering management or finance related or other things, that actually they can change their whole career. For example, if you have a degree in, let's say, mechanical engineering from bachelor's, right? Obviously, the type of the jobs that you can do, it has to somehow relate to mechanical engineering. Obviously, exceptions may happen, but once you have a degree like this, engineering management, that will give you the flexibility to switch your career, not just improve. Improve is there, but even switching it will give you a flexibility, because again, the program is kind of overarching. It's not a specific engineering discipline. It's not a specific business discipline. That's important. And of course, it can also, you can also go into more research oriented in PhD. So it could be a stepping, because it's a master's degree. And by the way, it's going to be a master's of science, MS degree. So which means if you want to further your training or education to a PhD, it can be used also.
Wonderful. So a question that we get a lot from the enrollment perspective, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, is what makes University of Miami, both the school and the engineering program, stand out? Like, what makes University of Miami unique, and why should a student choose University of Miami?
Well, if it will be online, offline, I mean, on campus, I would say one of the things is location, but right now we are independent of location. But
Yeah.
I would just say that our basic at the University of Miami is one of the as a university, top tier universities in the nation. And the engineering and is also one of the top programs in schools also in Florida. So one thing is, of course, the I would just say the faculty. The other thing is also it's a private university. So, for example, there are some public universities, right, with their online programs where you have hundreds of students in one program and not many faculty. So the faculty, which makes it faculty-student interaction a stretch. It's basically non-existent, right? So it's more like automated system. You follow certain steps, you graduate, and there's not much flexibility with like mentorship and getting more attention, individual attention from faculty. But in private universities like University of Miami, like College of Engineering, we usually have a better faculty-student ratio. That's on campus for sure, and also online programs as well. So from that perspective, I would say that in our programs there will be more mentorship and faculty interaction, you will see. So it's not a firmly designed process, step one, step two, step three, and here's a diploma, right? So you can basically go in different ways. Of course, the other thing is because of this, so you're not part of a big crowd, usually your cohort is going to be, again, that will allow actually to networking better because of this, I mean, relatively, smaller. So you think of this way, you are in a classroom, a relatively small classroom that actually after the second session, you know everyone in the classroom versus you are taking a class with 200 people in an auditorium. You feel like a drop in, it's very hard to, although you would think that there are more people, usually it might be actually turn the other way around, harder to network, and actually connecting with the others. So I would just say cohorts with this more and faculty can play a more effective role in connecting through group projects and other interactive basically activities connect the people from different backgrounds together. So it will be a nice opportunity, it will offer a nice opportunity for peer network. And University of Miami also has a legacy. A degree from University of Miami is something to be recognized well, and not just
Very
with substance, but also even, I would say, like psychologically. And has a, when you say that I'm a hurricane or a UM alumni, it weighs. It has its own weight. These are the things that I can think of on
much.
the moment. Of course, the quality of education is there. Tools and resources are available from any, maybe better than many full-fledged universities, I would say.
Wonderful. I have one more question for you, and then we can either open it up to QA or we can hand it back over to Omar to go over the admission stuff. But what kind of applied or project-based work can students expect during this program?
Yeah, I mean, all of these classes, if you look at like project management, engineering management, right? And others, quality systems. These cannot be actually taught without case studies, tangible examples, and group projects. And in engineering education in general, the courses are usually required to involve projects. I don't know, I've never taught a class myself without a project in it. That there has to be. And especially in these cases, just doing a dry, like, here is the lecture, here is the test, you did well, is not going to work in this context, right? Because I think the program is not designed just to increase your knowledge, but improve your skills. But skills will only improve with interactive work, and especially with projects. And so it's the projects are case studies and projects are very central to this. And that
Okay.
actually that stimulates, I would just say, to be honest, that if I would believe that a student will learn much better with projects than the instructors. I mean, instructors will make a difference. But the thing is, and especially it make a difference in maybe coordinating the projects and assignments, make it more interesting rather than just conveying knowledge. The best instructors are usually those who can come up with the right model for the right project cases so they can learn yourself. Because whatever you learn yourself sticks longer than what you hear and learn usually, right? Because it's a first-hand experience. So we understand that, and it's very important for us to include projects.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much for answering those detailed questions about the program. I do want to give you one more chance. Is there any other topic or question we didn't discuss today that you would want to shed light on before we pass it on over and to the enrollment side?
Um, I guess, as I said, I think we covered many of the aspects of this, and as you said, that one is the flexibility, and then the other one is the program itself. I would say that the one good thing about this, right? For example, the engineering management, you can see it as a multidisciplinary program. You have with this program, the students will improve their knowledge and skills on maybe quantitative models, but they will have a good grasp of also qualitative methods like in management. And I would just say this could be even counted as an MBA on steroids, right? So with this quantitative and engineering background. So I already congratulate everyone here just even to consider doing something like this, pursuing such a program.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, for just answering these questions and telling the prospects about the program. So, Omar, are you okay to continue on with the slides and any Q&A we may have at the end?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Lots of
Okay.
wonderful information so far.
Yes. Andrea, can you share the slides so that we can move on with the end of the presentation?
All right, so looking at our resources and connectivity, so we have a number of different resources to help you feel connected to our Canes community. And one of the aspects that we do, try to remind students about applicants is, our online students have the same access to support and resources as their campus peers. So there really isn't a difference there. It's just the modality. So you'll notice we have different services like the Topple Career Center, which helps students with interview prep, job opportunities, and other different types of services. Our disability services, Launchpad for our entrepreneurial students. There's the Graduate Student Association, the online library with a plethora of different resources. And one of the services not mentioned, of course, is we do have veteran services as well. Our military students are a big part of what we do here, and certainly we enjoy having them come in, and as well as other different types of services to support all the various students that we have that are part of the Canes community. And so if you're ready to go with the admissions process, what is it that you need? So just to touch on that really quick, of course, you'll need your official transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation, resume, and just to make a quick note, all of this is done through the application portal. So you're not physically sending anything to us. Everything is handled in there, from uploading your documents to entering the information for your recommenders. For students interested in financial aid via the FAFSA, we always recommend doing that as soon as you can. Unfortunately, we don't control the processing time, so the sooner you do it, the sooner you can be able to utilize that option. And of course, any questions related to that, we're more than happy to answer, and especially in regard to any unique situations that you may have. Of course, personal statement is another part of the process, and then the submission of your online application. So once you're able to do that, or as you work through it, you'll want to take note of our early admissions deadline, which is Monday, November 3rd. And with that early admissions deadline, we're actually offering a perk for students. So those students who can get their completed file to us by that early admissions deadline, you'll actually be able to waive the application fee of $50. So of course, that's something that'll save you a little bit of cash there, take a little extra expense off the list for you. And just as a reminder, that is November 3rd, Monday is our early admissions deadline. You'll see the contact information for us there. We do highly encourage you to apply to secure your spot, as spots are limited. And you'll see the information on the bottom for those of you who want to utilize our QR code to begin the process, or if you want to click on the link that's right there that we have. And so with that being said, before we let you go, I did want to say a big thank you to all of our incredible panelists today, and to the rest of you out there. We hope to see you soon as a future Kane. So thank you, and everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing your applications.
Thank you for joining us.